อ Thank
Would
you.
you like to try a sample?
You know what? It's a little early in the morning for
It's
me.
New Year's Eve.
It is New Year's Eve. That's a good point. I'm going to do a quick loop,
Sure.
and then I'm going to be coming back. I just
All right,
wanted to
sounds
film without getting too many people in it. Thank you.